the hell? And welcome to our first OSBA game of the Ryerson Hoop Fest. I'm Max, and I'm here with Steve today. And we have a great matchup between the first-seeded Kings Christian and the second-seeded Lincoln Prep Huskies.
Really great environment, Max. We get a chance to be here today, get 2 OSBA games heading into the nightcap with Kia Nurse playing at home. So looking forward to getting this thing going.
And Lincoln wins the tip, and here's Pockernick pushing it up for the Huskies. It's going to be tipped out of bounds Soriano. It's going to remain Lincoln Prep ball.
We'll watch early. We're going to see how they're going to establish Maskowicz in the early going. Without Becker there, they usually play the two of them a bit of a tandem, so now they just have one prong attack on that front. So it'll be interesting to see what Lincoln does.
A key matchup here. Maskowicz going against Mora, gets right to the rim, unable to finish with the finger roll. Mora cleans up the glass.
Yeah, the early touch is high, the chance to face up against Mora, and I think it's a matchup they want to do with Maskowicz. So we'll see what they do to continue that pattern. We'll see what Kings does to counter that a bit. I don't think Kings wants Mora standing out in space, guarding that all match.
Great defense there by Martindale, forcing Oriami to drive the baseline. Her pass is a little bit too high for Soriano. It's going to be Husky ball. Maskowicz, the left wing, deep three this time, a little bit too strong. Oriami comes down with the rebound.
Yeah, I get the early sense that Maskowicz is going to get involved, though. First 2 possessions, she's got 2 touches, 2 shots.
Boers runs the floor well, unable to finish the close one, though. Maskowicz cleans up, and off come Huskies. It's going to be tipped off of Martindale, who was out of bounds, so it's going to go Kings Christian ball.
Yeah, you love to see your athletes get the rebound, as we did here in the defensive glass, and start to put the ball at the floor. That allows everyone else to run. It creates space naturally. The challenge of that one is you also need them to make a decision now they're playing at pace. So they're starting to run the floor. You throw it into a crowd like that, you almost want to go back to just hold on to it and get to someone that can make the proper decisions.
Here's Neal on the left wing, drives, and finishes with the floater over Martindale. First 2 points of the game for Tiana Neal.
Yeah, Neal does a nice job. Goes left, goes towards the baseline. Looks like she's attacking right towards the rim, and then once sees the defense, changes her angle and takes off with the right knee, going up in the air, get herself up for a floater. So good adjustment in the path.
Pockernick on the right wing for 3, rattles out. Fight for the board comes down to Christina Mora.
Interesting pace here, Max, to start. Both teams flying around, getting some good shots.
Boers. Feet were out of bounds, though, going for the deep 3, so it's going to go right to Lincoln Prep.
Yeah, you'd never take your athlete going out of bounds. That being said, though, I think getting Boers even a shot that is after the whistle is something you'd like for Kings. Just get her in a bit of a rhythm.
She's one we've constantly mentioned in these Kings games, one of the deadliest three-point shooters in the OSBA, so she is definitely one to watch if you are Lincoln Prep. Oriami driving from the top, gets to her left hand, unable to finish. Here comes Maskowicz looking to push again.
Good first step there, though. Got by her defender, just couldn't convert.
Here's Martindale driving against Mora, unable to finish the layup, but Maskowicz is right there to put back the putback.
And that's probably the 3rd rebound right now that both teams have kind of collected, and then the next action they've had with it hasn't been great. So we talked about one earlier where Lincoln had the dribble out. Their first pass went into like a ping-pong type scenario where everyone kind of kicked it forward out of bounds. Kings had one with Moore earlier too. She gets the rebound, throws it out here. It's a challenge pass, gets deflected. And now the third one where they collect the rebound just gets ripped from them. So I'm going to assume the first time both these coaches get a chance to talk to their team, they're going to actually talk about securing the rebound as part of this process. That doesn't necessarily mean slowing it down, but it has to be secure and know where you're going before you turn up the court.
It's Neal bringing it up for Kings. They work it around. Here's Boris. They're looking to find a touch for Mora, but great denial there by Maskowicz. Soriano against Pockernick. Gets right to the key. She's going to be fouled on the attempt. She'll go to the line for 2.
Yeah, too bad for Lincoln. That was pretty well defended. I think the way they'd want to draw that up, they have it there. I mean, they keep the guard on guard. They stay on top of her going towards the rim, and then once the shot goes up, they get a little hands on her. But short of that and keeping the hands out, it probably was defended exactly how they want in the ball screen action.
Soriano, nothing but net on the first attempt.
And to go back to your earlier point, Max, we've Maskowicz is getting herself involved early, which is what Lincoln's going to want to establish. Kings is probably still searching for a way to get Mora included in this offense. And with the pace of this game right now, it's been dictating a little bit of who's getting these touches. But you also want to establish who your key players are as well.
Great pressure defense there by Kings, forcing the turnover from Hall. Oriami, a quick three in transition. It's unable to go. And Huskies, again, push it down the court. Pokranic right down to Martindale cutting, and her floater on the baseline is good.
Nice pass. Got that in the window, so a hedge on the ball screen created a bit of an opportunity. Got it to Martindale before the help or tag defender could get over. Had to be quick and it had to be on target. It was a nice job in the ball screen.
Oriami working against Hall. They swing it over. Soriano, the left wing three. Too strong. The fight for the rebound. Good box out there by Rainford. Martindale cleans it up. Hall running the floor so well, and she's able to finish with the left hand.
Yeah, and you kind of touched on this. That was because 3 or 4 athletes were running the floor that time. That wasn't because there was one person. We had the first one for the outlet, 2 running down the middle of the floor, and all the people running the floor created the space to get someone at the rim.
A little errant buzzer there, but the athletes kept playing, and it was stepped out of bounds by Neal, so it's going to go Lincoln Prep ball. Hall, again, is one of those athletes that we've touched on a bunch in Lincoln's previous matchups, always running the floor. She's one to definitely pick up in transition as she gets constantly those transition points.
So we go into our first break here, and this is probably a chance, as we alluded to a bit earlier. I think both teams are going to talk a little bit about what's happening on their defensive rebounds. And there's quite a bit of pace. Both teams are going to press. We've seen Kings come out in a set zone pressure already, and we know Lincoln will love to do that on made baskets for themselves, and they've shown some trapping at half too. So the key of when you gain possession right now with that rebound is going to be ensuring that you're going to value that possession, and I think that's what will be a focus of both teams in the timeout. Trying to check on the confusion at the score table right now in the first timeout. I'm not sure if it was just a question around the horn timing for the timeout or if there was anything else, but we're looking into what that may have been.
Coming out of the first timeouts, both teams stick with their starters. So for Kings, it's Neal, Oriami, Bohr, Soriano, and Mora. And for Lincoln, it's Pokranic, Maskowicz, Hall, Rainford, and Martindale. Lincoln Prep to inbound. There's Maskowicz again working against Mora on the left wing. Coming up the screen from Martindale, and she looks to attack. Tied up, finds a cutting Rainford, who's going to be blocked out of bounds, but it's going to remain with Lincoln Prep. It's going to be 14 on the shot clock.
I like the patience there with Lincoln. They ran the first action for Maskowicz. They get into a switch. Once they saw the switch, they actually threw it back to Martindale to attack more just to see if she can create an advantage. So a little bit of patience went a long way.
A little zone look there on the baseline from Kings, and it's able to confuse Hall as Oriami picks up a steal on the pass. Here's Boers working. Her floater just short. Rainford comes up with it.
It's an important part of Boer's game right now. She's shooting the ball so well, as you alluded to earlier. She's one of the top threats from the three-point line, so just the ability to put on the floor, even if it's a 1 or 2 steps, makes a big difference in how they guard her.
Able to find Maskowicz in the post, and she kicks out to Martindale. She's unable to finish, but Maskowicz cleans up the glass and finds Martindale again, and she's able to hit for 2.
Yeah, great work. Anytime someone can get you 2 offensive rebounds in 1 possession, you give a ton of credit to Maskowicz.
Mora cutting down the lane. She's bottled up, though. Able to put back her miss, but it's no good. Oriami this time. Maskowicz finally comes up with it for Lincoln, and Lincoln again on the run. Rainford, the left wing 3, just short. The rebound comes down to Soriano. An up and down affair here early.
Yeah, both these teams love to play fast. We've seen it all year, so now you get them playing against each other. It's really interesting to watch.
And there's Boers, a little bit off on the first shot, but Lincoln looks to push again. The pass was a bit too short. for Hall to contain. It's going to be off Lincoln. It's going to remain go to King, sorry.
You know, both teams, as I said, they love to play with some speed as they're doing right now. And part of that's going to be is you see people taking some chances. So last time Kings was coming on the floor, we saw Maskowicz jump up to half going for a steal. She missed that chance, but you're going to take them because that's the thing you want to do when you're playing this quick. And then again now Lincoln, same thing going the other way. They try and throw it over the top. It gets deflected away. But you like taking those chances just to keep things loose and have your athletes going towards the rim.
Looking to find Mora. It looks like a lot of attention down there. The pass is a little bit out of her reach, so it's going to go right over to Lincoln. Balabiakubo just checked in the game for Martindale. She's at the top, receiving the pass from Pokranik and looks to drive. Hall gets in the key, and her bank is good.
Nice shot by Hall. Definitely deserves credit, but Maskowicz also deserves a piece of that. Her cut coming from the 45 to the rim occupied the help defense, and then she sealed right at the rim, which is a forgotten art by a lot of athletes right now. So she sealed right on top of Moore and occupied the shot blocker, giving Hall that space in the pocket to do her little floater off the glass.
That foul there was on Balabiakubo, her first of the game. It's going to go right back to Kings. We have Alamara checking in for Soriano on that foul also. So Kings swings it around. See what they can do to start get it going offensively. Mora working on Maskowicz. Kicks over to Oriami. Her shot's too strong. It's going to go over to Lincoln ball.
You can almost feel it a bit now. Now you're 6 minutes in. If you're Kings, you really want to find a way to get more involved. She had the chances in transition that time around a crowd that wouldn't fall, but outside of that, she hasn't had too many possessions they probably would want to draw up for her.
Great job against the press by Pokranik, able to find a cutting Balabiakubo. She gets in the lane, looks for Maskowicz in the corner, but it's going to be fouled. It's going to remain Lincoln ball on the baseline.
So Kings went zone last time in the baseline, so we'll see if they show the same front.
Lincoln works around looking for Maskowicz down low. The pass was a little bit off, though. Oriami comes down with another steal.
Nice job by Morris staying off the contact there so she could play that passing lane.
And there's Boers, that three opportunity we were talking about. It comes down to Maskowicz. She's tied up by Oriami. The jump ball is going to remain with King. So a little bit of excitement here as Oriami continues with these energy plays, providing a boost to this Kings team.
Yeah, the score's 10-4, but I mean the action's been non-stop going both directions, so it's a little misleading the scoreboard. It feels like there's a lot going on for both teams, and there's some opportunities that haven't fallen. There's some chances that have been just missed.
Alamara looking to drive now. Gets to her left hand. It's no good. Another rebound for Maskowicz, cleaning up the glass early in this one.
Yeah, early on she's won that matchup, her and Mora head-to-head for the rebounding.
Maskowicz looking to drive. Gets into the cleat, kicks out to McMillan. Deep three, just short. Maskowicz can't track down the offensive board.
So we've seen it twice now, or I guess it'd be three if you count the one with Martindale, but we've seen it twice where Maskowicz had a chance to face up on Mora out in the perimeter, and that's the thing that's been working for Lincoln. That she's gone one or two dribbles, gotten by her, and forced some sort of rotation. So Kings is going to have to decide if they're going to send someone earlier on that piece to help keep Maskowicz out of the paint, or if they're going to find some different matchup to work with.
An important stretch here for Lincoln as they take out Maskowicz, sub in Macy Tarrant. So we'll see how the Kings attacks with Mora now with Maskowicz on the bench.
This is where they'll really miss Beckers in these types of scenarios.
Oriami looking to drive. It's tipped away by Pokranik. 3 on the shot clock. Alamara. They get it to Mora, but it's too late. It's going to be shot clock violation. It's going to be Lincoln ball.
Yeah, you can see the attention Mora's getting down there, though. On this one, the shot clock's expiring before the ball even gets to her. And what's a late desperation pass, they still have two bodies on her. So it was almost irrelevant to play, but it did show the visual of what's going on with Lincoln's defense and their attention they're giving to Mora.
Pokranik tied up on the sideline, but is able to get it over to Balabiakubo. Handling the pressure well. They get McMillan on the right wing this time for 3. It's a bit off. Mora fighting for the board, but Rainford comes down with it.
Yeah, couldn't get a second hand of that one, so only one ends up in a tip, and you can't always control where the tips go.
Low shot clock here for Lincoln. They have 3 on the clock. Rainford looks to drive. Pokranik the deep 3, and it's a long 2, sorry. right before the buzzer.
It's a funny emotional piece of that. The ones that go and the buzzer sounds when they're in their air, they always give you more of a boost, and they're always more deflating for the defense. Worth the same, but just a different feel to them.
Bora's pass for Mora. Tip there by Taran, then going to go off of Mora's hands out of bounds, so it's going to go over to Lincoln.
Yeah, that's a missed opportunity. You had the 2-on-1. You probably had to engage the defender a little more, but even still, the pass looked like Mora was waiting for it to be all the way over the top. It was still in the window where the defender can get a hand, and those tips when it's like halfway through the path are always tough to catch for the receiver.
The press providing a little bit of benefit there for King as they come up with the steal. They find Bora's open in transition, just short, but Oriami again fighting for the O-board. They find her on the baseline. Her jumper is good.
Yeah, that's 2 good looks for Kings. They got like that. They got both their shooters got a good clean look there. They're both 2s, not 3s, but each of them got a real clean shot to get themselves in rhythm here nearing the end of the first quarter.
Tarrant there had a foot out of bounds before the shot went off, so the 3 is going to be no good. It's going to go over to Kings. And just like that, we have Maswich checking back into the game for Rainford.
Yeah, I like that sub. I like the timing of it. You give her now 90 seconds, then she'll get another whistle at the end of the quarter. So this is a good stretch. You gave her a bit of a breather. She'll make one little sprint out of here for 90 seconds. Get herself 2 minutes of real time coming up to that for an extended rest.
Oriami hits a cutting Brown. Kings is able to beat the pressure. Oriami looking to attack now. Gets it over to Brown, and her floater's no good. The fight for the rebound comes down to Mora. She goes to work, and she's going to be fouled on the attempt. She'll go to the line for 2.
Yeah, that's, Kings needed that. A little bit of a broken play to get the best touch they've gotten to Mora yet. So nothing by design. Lincoln wasn't set on defense for it, but that loose ball gets tipped around. Mora collects it. Now she's in the paint one-on-one matchup, and this is what she's been so successful with all year. She goes right at that to the left side and draws the foul.
Mora a little bit short in the first.
Oriami's been a big piece of the pressure that Kings has been applying so far this game. So she's going to sit down with a minute or so to go. We'll see what they show pressure-wise now. It looks like they're going to extend it a bit further. Have to play, I guess, a bit more space.
So with Brown at the front, Lincoln's able to handle that pretty well. They get Maskwich in the corner to work on Mora. She makes a move. Kicks out top to McMillan. Tries to get it right back to Maskwich. Was that tipped away by Brown? Here comes Kings.
Moore did a great job in that one-on-one with Maskwich the last time down.
Soriano, a deep 3 is no good, and Maskwich comes down with another rebound. She's going to push herself. They swing it around. McMillan looks to drive. Balabiakubo, the right corner 3, too strong. McMillan comes down with the rebound, blocked away by Mora, though. And then her pass is picked off by Brown.
Well, Mora had the seal early in transition again. She wanted the ball.
So we have 9 seconds on the shot clock here. Mora coming for the high ball screen with Alamara. They find her cutting. The double comes. The kick out to Brown. Mishandled, but they get it back to Mora. Unable to get it off in time. It's going to be another shot clock violation.
We had a great visual of this one that time. So we've seen in the past throughout the season, the Kings runs that high ball with Mora, and then they let her slip out of it, and they're going to use essentially a triangle pass to get it into her off that roll. This time you could see Lincoln, they just put their tag player waiting for Mora there as well too. So essentially double team the entire part of the ball screen to roll out of it. So they were waiting on that action. Mora's going to roll down there underneath 2. The pass had to go right to the corner. It's going to be that shot that Kings going to have to make to loosen that up.
Lincoln goes for the baseball pass. Maskwich just was unable to get the shot off before the first quarter. Buzzer sounded. So at the end of 1, we have Lincoln Prep Huskies 12, Kings Christian Collegiate 7.
Yeah, the rebounding. If you took the matchup we were looking at before the game, if you have Maskwich and Mora head-to-head, both have delivered pretty strong first quarters, but the rebounding effort of the battle that Maskwich has done on both ends has really probably been the difference in the 5 points now. Both teams had some success in pressure. Both teams had a couple passes that got away from them. Both teams had some open looks, but really the difference has just been on the glass, and I think it's that head-to-head matchups that has been probably the key tilting point.
And Maskwich's ability to control the defensive rebound and then start the transition has really allowed the guards on Lincoln to get out, and they've found chances there that they've been able to convert much more than they have in the half court.
We've watched, that's a really good point. We've watched Lincoln. We've had them on the game of the week a couple times, and we've noticed how important or key for those games it was for them is to get a score and then to get themselves into some pressure. Now, I don't know if this is because Becker's not here or it's just a different strategy they're employing against Kings, but whatever the case may be, they're finding other ways now to find those easy buckets, so a credit to them. So no longer is it relying on the steals in the front court, but they're able to do it off their defensive glass. And as you said, Maskowicz has been a big piece in opening that up. And they had at least one hoop where it was just thrown ahead, and there was the fact of everyone else running the floor for them. So it's not just the breakout, but then everyone else continued to run. They created the space on the offensive end. So credit to them for running. Both these teams want to play fast. It was 2 points last time they played, and we're off to start that looks like it's going to be another great matchup.
All right, so here comes the second quarter. Starting for Lincoln, we have Rainford, Skoskin, Martindale, Hall, and Maskowicz. Starting for Kings is Mora, Soriano, Neal, Brown, and Boers. Maskowicz to inbound for the Huskies. So Kings remains out in their man-to-man defense. We'll see how Lincoln looks to attack. They get Maskowicz a look at the top. She's going to be called for a travel, looking to drive on Mora, so it's going to go Kings ball.
And it would only be rightful in saying this. The first two matchups went for Maskowicz, and the last two probably Mora's done a much better job in the one-on-one. One, she pushed it underneath the basket baseline side, and the second one she initiated or forced her into a travel.
It's Mora looking to work on Maskowicz in the paint, but good help there by Hall. Lincoln's able to recover. Kings works it around. They find Boers looking for Mora again, but again the help. Great work here by Lincoln. Neal's able to get into the lane, though, and she's going to be fouled by Hall. She'll be at the line for two.
Wow, I tell you, if Lincoln can do this, Kings is going to be probably pretty happy too. They come out of the first quarter intermission. They come down. They get two great touches from Mora. Lincoln is now coming with the double team. They get both double teams, and they get out of it both times. They had to be really excited about that. And the possession actually ends up with probably their best perimeter defender, Hall, in a one-on-one. But Neal breaks it down and draws a foul. So I would say on paper, Lincoln's going to love how that possession went. Kings is also be pleased they got the touches, but it's going to be a battle. If they can double and get out of it, that's going to be a lot of challenge for Kings.
And Neal's able to hit both from the line. So first possession, we do now have a 3-point lead, Lincoln 12-9 over Kings. And we have Oriami checking right back in for Brown. So Kings remains in their three-quarter trap, and they have Oriami back at the front of that press, and she's able to tie up Rainford, but she's going to be called for the foul there.
Yeah, this is why they like her in the press, though. I mean, you take one or two of these fouls. It's part of what you do when you play in pressure. You're going to take some chance you get in these spots, but Oriami comes back in. They get right back into a pressure situation, and they get a trap. So it was a foul. They got themselves not the outcome they wanted, but it was the setup that they were looking for.
After the foul, it's going to go – Kings goes to a man defense there, and Skosin's pass is going to be tipped out of bounds, so it's going to remain with Lincoln under the basket, 17 on the shot clock. There's Martindale to inbound, finds a cutting Rainford. She kicks out to Skosin. The three, a little bit off. Maskowicz again fighting for the rebound, and Martindale's able to come up with it. Martindale working on the baseline, but a little step out of bounds. It's going to be off her. It's going to go to Kings ball. So a little issues with the sidelines so far early in this game.
Yeah, everybody. We've had three of them in the game already, which is interesting. A developing pattern, maybe.
We have Soriano working against Skosin. Good pressure defense there by Lincoln. And here's Hall against Neal. They're looking for Mora. She gets the seal on Maskowicz. They're unable to find her. Here's Oriami using the Mora screen. She finds Boers, but again, another shot clock violation for Kings. Great defense here by Lincoln early on.
Oriami's been very good off the bounce for Kings this game. It's twice now. She's taken one or two dribbles and got right by somebody. And that scenario, though, once you get under 4 seconds and you put the ball on the floor, most times you're going to have to find a way to get that shot up. Even if it's not going to be a great shot, just it's all the clock's really going to permit.
This time Kings goes back into a 2-3 zone. So a new look for Lincoln. Let's see how they attack out of here. They swing it around. They find Hall at the top. Her three. A little bit too strong. It bounces around. The fight for the rebound. Martindale's able to come up with it. So Lincoln crashing the offensive glass early. They get to Maskwich, and she's able to finish with the left.
Yeah, we complimented Mora before for staying off the contact and going for that steal. This time she did the same thing and miss, and if you're going to go for steal and miss, that's going to be the result. So it's a compliment when it works great. It's awful when it doesn't go your way. Got to pick what you're going to live with, I guess.
There's Oriami against Hall. They find Boris up top working on Rainford. They find Mora. The deep 2 is no good, but she's able to get her offensive rebound. Her lefty attempt is going to be fouled by Maskwich, so Mora will go back to the line for 2.
Yeah, it's probably good to get her jump shot just to get her a bit in the flow. If you're Kings, you want to make sure she's staying involved in this. She's been such a weapon all year. But then to get her own offensive rebound, this is where she just continues to show her ability and her natural instincts as a scorer in this league. As she's gone and got herself rebounds, loose balls, and got it right back to the rim to get fouled. So she's finding a way to get it done and keep her team in this thing in striking distance.
Mora able to hit the first.
Kings has some really great shooters, and they're going to need 1 or 2 of them to start to make those shots right now to help loosen up that pressure on Mora on the inside.
We say that with Kings only down 3, though, so Lincoln also has gone a bit cold here, scoring in the second quarter only 2 points so far with 3 minutes gone. So we'll see if Lincoln can also try and figure it out on the offensive end. And then right away, Mora is able to convert on Maskwich in the post.
You got to give credit there. Oriana's wide open. She's a shooter. You'd love to have that shot, and that's the respect that they have for Mora on their team right now. She saw her in a one-on-one in the post in the middle of the paint and thought that was even better than the open 3. So for a 3-point shooter to think that of her caliber, that's a lot of respect for her teammate, and Mora converted.
Able to get it in, and then they swing around. They find Maskwich, the right wing 3, a bit too strong. Mora's able to come down with that rebound, and Kings looks to push. Here's Soriano.
Maskwich is a capable 3-point shooter, that's certain, but I'm going to tell you, Kings is probably happy if she's shooting those.
Neal finishes with a tough layup over Martindale, and Kings now takes the 15-14 lead over the Huskies. Here's Martindale. Great pass there to Maskwich, who's going to be fouled by Oriami in the post. It's going to be Lincoln ball.
Yeah, great passing. Great job by Maskwich there, too. She got in behind the defense, but as the ball went to the top, she stepped in front, giving her the inside position. So when that ball came to her, the defense only had one option. Either you were going to let her do an uncontested layup or you had to try and walk through her. The walk-through leads to the foul drawn. So nice subtlety there in the positioning as the pass went to the top.
Maskwich gives it to Martindale. They find Hall open at the top. Her three's a bit off, but Maskwich again fighting for the board, but it's going to be tipped away, and Soriano comes up with it. Oriami takes the three, this time from the left wing. It rattles out. Maskwich comes down with it. And again, she looks to push.
That's a good shot and a good look, though. It's a good one for Oriami.
The pass there deflected off of Soriano out of bounds. It's going to remain Lincoln ball.
The Kings' defense has been interesting. So they've gone to the zone. It's probably been has shown a few more holes in it than the player-to-player was showing. Lincoln's getting shots, but Lincoln's selling for three-point shots that they're not making right now. So it's almost like the outcome of it's been worth that the actual process hasn't been as good.
Off that deflection, we have both Hall and Maskwich checking out. Tarrant and Balabukubo checking in for Lincoln. So a new look. And then Lincoln picks up full court. Martindale's able to come up with the steal and finishes by herself.
We've talked about this being a key thing for Lincoln in the past, and Martindale just goes and gets a steal, and that's 2 easy points.
Kings is able to break it this time. Lincoln's able to recover, though, so a big size mismatch now with Mora covered by Johnson. We'll see if they're able to keep it off. And then Balabukubo blocks the attempt from Soriano. It's going to be off her, out of bounds, Kings ball.
Yeah, Mora, as you said, had the size mismatch in there, but it drew 3 defenders, so it opened up a lot of space to attack from the perimeter.
It's going to be a reach-in foul there by Johnson. It's going to be the team's third of the quarter, so it's going to remain Kings ball.
We'll watch this matchup here with Johnson and Mora, see what they do with it. If it's pressure on the catch like it was, they're going to send the second body, if they're just going to let her play her straight up.
Forced inbound.
Zone here on the baseline.
She finds Neal right on the block, unable to convert the hook. Martindale comes up with it. Balabukubo looking to drive against Oriami. She's tied up. And it's going to be called for stepping on the end line, so it's going to go King's ball. Again, Lincoln remains with the press. Soriano's able to handle it pretty well, though, as she's picked up by Baliakubo now. Bohr is looking to drive against Tarrant. She's going to be called for the push on the drive. It's going to remain King's ball.
So there seems to have been, as much of the game, a pretty good focus on looking at Mora right now with the matchup she has. We'll see if Kings continues to do this here.
Mora catches it in the block, goes to work. And she's going to be called for the offensive foul there, trying to work against Pockernick.
Yeah, good pass. Kings got it back where they wanted. They got it to the top. They were able to go high-low to the matchup they were looking for. And, I mean, it was certainly the matchup that they wanted. Just unfortunately, Mora called for a wrap on the move going at the smaller defender.
Lincoln swings it around, finds a cutting Baliakubo, who kicks out to Rainford. The pump and gets right in the lane, right to the righty. She's unable to finish the finger roll, and Kings cleans up the glass.
It's a missed opportunity for Lincoln. They had two good chances, but two poor passes that were costing the shot opportunities. One thrown above the athlete's head cutting in, and the second one thrown at her shins. Eliminate the catch and shoot in both instances.
Bohr's pass was tipped there and was stolen away. It's going to be a foul there on Kings, so it's going to be Lincoln ball. Here's Pockernick working, so another zone look from Kings. We'll see how Lincoln attacks. Rainford's trapped in the corner. She's able to throw it off of Bohr's leg, though, so it's going to remain with Lincoln. There's 10 on the shot clock. And we have Granum checking in for the first time for the Huskies.
Kings likes the 1-3-1. It gives them a chance to run a few more traps out of it. And you saw anything that goes down below what they call their wing play, like to go trap that. So now they force a 5-second piece.
So the new body, Granum, is going to pick up Mora, so we'll see how that matchup works for Kings as they're going to look to find her, I believe. They swing it around. Bohr is on the wing. They set the cross screen on Granum. Mora catches. The double comes immediately with Pockernick. Her pass is too high. Baliakubo comes up with it, and she's going right to the races. Tied up there by Neal. It's going to be tipped out of bounds. It's going to remain with Lincoln.
Lincoln's doing a great job. I mean, they're trapping, or sending a double team to Mora before she even catches the ball. And to their credit, they're always there. And that's a tough thing to do, especially if it's not something you do on a game-to-game basis. You put it in as an opponent matchup or a scout-specific type thing. Sometimes those are tough to have everybody on the same page, but they've gone through a lot of lineups and subs now, and everybody's just been there. Before the ball even arrives, they've got the double team there.
Tarrant finds an opening, and she's able to hit for three. Again, though, Lincoln had troubles inbounding the ball, so the different zone looks giving Lincoln problems with their inbounding game. Right the other way, Oriami's unable to convert her three. The fight for the offensive rebound is going to be Oriami's tip off of Rainford, so it's going to remain with Kings.
Appreciate that second effort. Then you take your own shot, you kind of have to run around. So one of the problems you often run into is athletes will follow their own shot, run right into the back of their defender, but Oriami does a nice job getting around her, keep a hand in there and just make that a loose ball and deflection.
Kings works it around. They find Neal in the corner, and she's able to hit for three.
We alluded to this a bit earlier. This is what Kings needed. If they're going to send these two people to Mora before they catch, some of these great shooters are going to make some shots, and now they're starting to heat up.
Lincoln works it around. Baliakubo's pass gets Rainford up top. She's going to be fouled on the drive by Alamara, so it's going to remain with Lincoln. 14 on the clock now.
That's some pretty good ball movement for Lincoln there. They come down and face the zone again. A skip pass, a couple catch and move the balls, and next thing you know, they had a lot of space for people catching to attack.
That foul there was the fifth on Kings this quarter, so Rainford's at the line for two in the bonus.
This will be something Lincoln will want to capitalize on. I wouldn't be surprised to see they come back to Mascowitz with maybe about 2.5 to go here to finish this quarter off and get her with the mentality or the approaching start heading towards the rim. I think anytime you can capitalize on bonus, you want to do that, especially early in the game, try and build some pressure up on the other team.
Rainford's able to hit both, so Lincoln Prep back up 3, 21-18 with 3 minutes here in the second. They find Neal again, right in the same spot, and she's able to hit another 3.
Well, the back-to-back triples changed a lot in this game, and Neal finally got it going for them. They were due, those shots and looks they were getting for Kings and some of the shooters they have, so it was time. Right
back at you. Taran tried to answer, but her 3's a bit off. It's going to be tied up. The ball's going to go to Lincoln, I believe. And right with that, we have Maskwich checking right back into the game. So with 2:51 here in the second, we have a tie game. 21 Lincoln, 21 Kings. We have a timeout, Lincoln Prep.
Yeah, Kings has done a variety of looks now on the defensive end. So they've gone player to player. They went to the 2-3 for a bit, which was probably their least effective of the 3 defenses, but the outcome was probably fine. Kings couldn't make a shot, or sorry, Lincoln couldn't make a shot to get that for a bit. But we'll see what they're going to do now. You got about 3 minutes left to go. My guess is this is a chance to go back to their player-to-player and get back into the full court pressure they've been showing and have relied on for most of the season. Lincoln, on the other hand, as we said, this is probably the time they got to capitalize on the bonus. So you got to have some action going towards the rim, whether it's player-to-player or zone. You need Maskwich now to be going on the drive, and then whoever else they have out there looking for opportunities to get into the seam of that defense.
Great. And if you're Kings, you're definitely still looking to get more involved. Neal has hit her last 2 threes. Oriami, though, only 2 points so far in this half, and she's usually one of their main contributors. Last game against Lincoln finished with a second game-high 20 points just behind Mora's 27. So Kings definitely will look to get her and Mora both involved more as the game goes on here.
Yeah, we've given Oriami credit. She had that one she passed up to get it to Mora, and I think she's been very unselfish, and your point's probably pretty accurate. There's probably a few moments right now she could probably be a little more selfish what the team needs. And ultimately, as this game goes on for Kings, Mora's been carrying the load and facing a ton of defensive pressure. Some other people are going to have to continue to make shots. Neal has started to loosen this thing up, and that's going to then force Lincoln to decide, can we continue to send 2 people before Mora's even received the basketball, or is there other threats out there on the floor? So Oriami being aggressive, maybe a piece of that equation.
Coming out of the timeout, Lincoln now sets back up in their pressure. See how Kings responds. Oriami to inbound. They get it to Soriano over the top. Lincoln's able to recover.
I think that's a subtlety of Becker being missing. I think she's been so great at the front of the pressure for Lincoln all year. Does a nice job of just staying in the space, causing different passes.
Here's Neal again for 3. This time it's a bit off. Oriami fighting for the board, though. She steps out of bounds. It's going to go over to Lincoln.
Yeah, and that's going to be it. So, again, they kept 2. They kept 2 on Mora, and that's what's going to allow the shot to be open at the top. So that's going to be part of the equation. How many of those do you think they're going to make versus miss, and how much can you do that?
Lincoln wings it around, so they're against the zone against Kings. Maskwich, it's tied up in the corner. It's going to be off of Soriano, so it's going to remain Lincoln 14 on the shot clock now.
Tough one for Maskwich. I think she caught that. And the trap was actually a little late arriving, so I think she was caught a bit off guard. But unfortunately, what she did, she put the ball up over her head. So as soon as the 2 bodies came out, 2 defenders came at her, you could see she got on the 1 foot. So as an offensive player, you never want to be weak like that, standing up and on 1 foot.
They inbounded to Balibakua. Maskwich is able to get it. Unable to convert the layup, though. Mora comes up with it. Kings comes back the other way.
Like that one from Maskwich, though. So we talked about the last time we got to get her going to the rim. She does that. Gives herself a chance at an extended finish. Just left it a little bit short. But both teams, I think, came down and got shots they probably wanted out of the last break. Got an open 3 at the top, and Maskwich going to the... It's a little collision there between Maskwich and Mora underneath the basket. So they're going to rule incidental, but the crowd was...
Crowd's getting into it. Oriami, a good look there, gets to her fadeaway, unable to convert, and here's Maskwich working against Mora. A little confusion there on the pass as she looked like she thought Balibakua was cutting, but she was not. It's out of bounds. It's going to Kings.
Yeah, those passes feel awful. I think when you're an athlete and you throw those ones, because you end up bouncing and there's no one around, just goes into space. But, I mean, it is just as you said. Sometimes just the miscommunication makes it look a lot worse than it truly was.
So at the timeout, minute 47 left. We still have a 21-21 tie. Kings Lincoln. Number 1 team, number 2 team. What a matchup. The first game of the Ryerson inaugural Hoop Fest.
Yeah, exciting start. It's almost what we'd anticipate for the Hoop Fest, but you think now when you got about 110 seconds left to go, and this is going to be about 4 or 5 possessions at this pace for each of them. I think
or a minute 47 too. Yeah.
Yeah. Breaking on the shot clock pieces, Max. Thanks for that. What Kings is probably want to do in this now is a chance to change up what they were doing from the last time. So we thought about coming back to their primary defensive piece. Now they have a chance to mix it up again too. So that'll speed things up a little bit for them, create a couple extra ones. At this stage, my guess is they're going to rule out, or you'll still look for more, but you're going to rule that piece out now, trying to create a couple extra possessions so you can get those shooters, some of those pieces in transition, and go back to how you were doing at the beginning of the game. Can we get some of those early shots, get someone else into a bit of a rhythm and some confidence going here into the halftime? And on Lincoln's side, I think their job is to make sure that the opposite doesn't happen, that they don't come down here and establish more early in or the last 2 minutes.
And coming out of the timeout, we have Lincoln in the trap zone they like to put on. Right at the top, they're able to pass out of it, though. They find Boers, who just checked back in, the shooter we've mentioned, and she's able to hit her first 3 of the game. Just like you said, Steve, looking to establish those three-point shooters as Boers able to get her first attempt to go. We'll see if they continue to hit remaining minute of the game. We'll see how Lincoln's going to adapt to that.
Yeah, so the first 23 seconds of that has gone really great. They came out, got themselves into the shot they want for Boers. They came back into the 1-3-1 defense as we talked about to speed that up again on Lincoln as well too. So
Lincoln here extends the man, but Soriano's able to handle it.
See if they can keep this going, a chance to get 2 or 3 more of these.
Here's Mora directing traffic. Soriano's able to swing it. They find Neal this time, the deep 3, and it's good! 4 threes now in the last 3 minutes of the second, and Kings is now a 6-point lead.
They stay in the 1-3-1 again, so we talked about they're trying to get to 4 possessions was my guess coming that thing here, and they've done a beautiful job early.
Bob Yakubo's pass is stolen there by Alamara. Kings comes the other way. They're looking to push.
Well, they wanted Boers in transition. They wanted that one, I think.
Great job by Hall.
Great job by Hall to find her, take that opportunity away and force them to play in the quarter court offense. Really nice job in transition defense.
Here's Boers now working against Hall. She's going to be tripped up there, so she'll go to the line for 2 with the bonus situation. So 27-21 here. It's going to be Boers at the line for 2, 22 seconds remaining on the clock.
So in its own subtle way, this becomes a big possession now for Lincoln coming back the other way. And just because you don't want to go into halftime, let's assume Boers makes both of these, stretches this thing out. You don't want to come down and finish on another poor possession or a turnover, just to feel like the whole half, just to give it that kind of feel for the entire half. You want to come down, do something fine, and then you go into the halftime with it feeling like it should. A pretty good battle in the first half.
Boers able to convert both, so it's now an 8-point lead, 22 seconds. Let's see what Lincoln draws up for the last possession.
Yeah, the emotion of this possession, I guess, is really trying to say can be a pretty big one.
McMillan's tied up. Great catch there by Bikubo, able to retain it. Here's Martindale in the high post. McMillan, the deep 3 from the wing, unable to go. Fight for the rebound. Oriami comes up with it. Great tie up there by Grantham as it's going to go back to Lincoln. 2 seconds on the clock now.
Yeah, so that's pretty good for Lincoln. I mean, obviously we'd love it to make it, but you kind of split the trap, you pass out of it. You get yourself a clean look on the 3, so that's kind of a nice job to finish this thing off. The offensive rebound tie-up goes back to you, so you're going to get a chance, obviously, here at something, ideally going to the rim, give yourself a chance to make the shot, or get a foul, 2 seconds left, and go into halftime where it should be.
Here's Martindale to inbound. Let's see what the coach drew up. Granham working on more. They find Maskowicz, and she's able to finish. Great play there by Lincoln, able to score on the last possession of the game, cutting the lead to 6.
Yeah, great job by Granham. You could even see the Kings bench wanted to call on that, but she did her job. She went right to the middle of that zone, occupied Mora, and cleared some space for Maskowicz to make that second cut coming into. So they sealed off the defenders in the zone. Granham deserves a ton of credit for that one. And a good finish, I guess, for Lincoln to go into this at the quarter break or halftime break.
So going into the half, we have 29 Kings, 23 Lincoln. Leading scorers for Lincoln Prepper, Emily Martindale and Bryn Maskowicz with 6. Leading scorer for Kings is Tana Neal with 15 of the 29. We'll be back after this short break. And we're back. So coming into the second half, we have a 6-point lead for Kings, 29-23 over Lincoln Prep Huskies. Steve, what are our 3 keys to the game for the second half? It's going to be brought to you by Booster Juice today.
I think the 3 keys would start for Kings is to continue to establish Christina Mora, and that can happen in a couple different facets. And we saw at the end of the first half, meaning if they can get her the ball, she can get going. That's a big piece of it. If they can continue to draw a double team and make shots out of that, that's the second piece of it. The second key is going to be the rebounding battle, and we gave the edge a bit to Maskowicz in the first half and the job she did. And it's not about the one-on-one in this facet of it being Mora and Maskowicz, but she was the leader in that. And the third is going to be the ability to make some shots, and that applies to both teams. I think both teams, if you take out the last 2 minutes there for Kings, both teams had a lot of chances to make some things and get some athletes going, but neither team really got into a full rhythm. So we'll give Kings the edge in the first half, say the last 4 minutes they start to make some shots, but it's going to be a key here in the second half as to who can be the person making or the team making those shots down the stretch.
And a big second quarter there for Kings as they beat Lincoln 22-11 there. So we'll see if Lincoln can fight back, take control, claw their way right back into this thing. And here we have Boers to inbound for Kings.
I'd feel remiss to not mention, though, before we leave halftime, that we have 2 alumni in the facility of the OSBA. Hannah Hall here from Lincoln and Shayna Pellington from Durham.
Elite. Yeah, 2 first-team All-Stars in the inaugural OSBA season. So we love having our alumni back, and they're 2 of the greats. So Kings works it around. Here's Mora, gets to that high screen action with Boers. They swing it. They find Oriami for 3 this time. A bit short, but Boers fights for the rebound. Finds a cutting Oriami, and it's going to be blocked away. The fight for the rebound is then blocked again by Lincoln. Great energy early from both teams, and Pokranik comes up with it, and here comes Lincoln.
Yeah, what a first possession for both teams.
Hall, the transition wing 3 is no good. But again, a fight for the rebound, and Maskowicz and Soriano are tied up. It's going to go to Lincoln.
Yeah, that's a great start. You can feel the energy here from both teams in the battle. I mean, the rebounding on both ends consisted of a true war.
Maskowicz gets it up top. She drives right in the lane. Is going to be fouled there by Mora on her attempt. She'll be at the line for 2.
Maskowicz, nice job extending there. Gets the ball way outside of her body and a chance to get around the defender that forced Mora to reach into it. The flip of that for Maskowicz now, as we noticed, we've had a couple drives that she's been, this one she got fouled, so it's tough to put it into the category, but she's been extending so far for the rim that the ball's well below the backboard trying to get it up there, and she's left a couple of them short. So it looks like right now she may be picking it up about a dribble too early or not getting as close as she wants to be able to extend and get to the glass. It's almost like an extend and have to pitch to the glass. So we'll watch her in that, and that's the thing we might have to watch over actually the next couple of weeks to see if that's something that's just been a trend or just a couple times, just a couple of one-off possessions in this game.
Maskowicz a little bit missed the second free throw, tied up there by Lincoln. Just a little shot clock malfunction here, so we're going to move it down to 18 on the shot clock.
Now, those are really tough on the referee, those scenarios when you try to estimate how much time had elapsed since the rebound had gone. You saw because it wasn't running.
They get Mora a touch on the block. Great one-on-one defense there by Maskowicz, and Mora's going to be called for the elbow foul. Second offensive foul for Mora, 3rd of the game. So we're going to see how Kings coaches manage her going forward now with 9 minutes left in the 3rd.
Yeah, I don't mind her with 3 fouls. We'll see what Kings does with it. I think the more frustrating thing if you're Kings is that she got 2 in the first 1 minute here of the 3rd quarter. That one in the paint, I think you take. It's the one where she'd probably reach in a Maskowicz that you could tell her you want her to stay all those things. And she'll have to do that now. I think you want to continue more. You want more to continue to be an offensive weapon. You want her to be served that on the floor. So right now she's probably going to be a little more cautious at the defensive end. Can't get any reaching in or blocking shots.
So back-to-back turnovers by both teams as Martindale comes up with it for Lincoln. They swing it around. Here's Rainford's 3, and it's good.
It just seems Lincoln just seems to be a magnet. They can turn over in the front court. They just always seem to find a great shot, and they just make a killing off that. And we've seen it all year. Any turnover in the front court, they just convert it at an unbelievable rate.
And just like you said, the three-point shooters for Kings got going late in that second quarter. We're going to see if Lincoln can start to get hot here in the 3rd, and Rainford starts them off with a 3. Errant pass there from Neal out of bounds, so it's going to be Lincoln ball. And here, Kings picks up with that three-quarter press with Oriami at the front. Maskowicz does a good job to break it, finds Martindale, who's Pockernick, and she's able to hit the three. Back-to-back threes for the Huskies.
And that just neutralized what happened at the end of the first half. So shooting can just go in little stretches both ways. Now the key's going to be who can keep this thing going.
They're able to find Mora down low, but Hall's able there to pick up on the double. Mora's pass then is out of bounds. It's going to be Lincoln ball. Great defense again by Lincoln, containing Mora on the block.
Yeah, as I said this before, and I'm going to continue to reiterate this, like what a tremendous job they've done this game plan to have two bodies there before she's catching so consistently. Credit to the coach for the game plan, but a real big credit to the athletes for executing that.
Hall's going to be called there for the travel. A little shuffled her feet before she put the ball down, so it's going to go King's way. And not only the double, but Maskowicz has also done a great job influencing the pass into Mora, denying the first chance and making her work to get space there on the block as well.
Great point, Max.
So we have Soriano now working against Pockernick. Great defensive pressure there from the guard. And here's Mora looking to post against Maskowicz.
This might have been, Kings actually ran a second cutter there to the high post. Oriami went into there, and that created a lot of space on the weak side of the floor. So what they could be potentially setting up here for Kings is running more down to that block, that double team coming, and looking for a potential skip pass shot out of that setup.
So that foul there was on Pockernick on the outside, so that'll be her second of the game. And Soriano driving against Pockernick now. Great job by Pockernick to get in front of her, and Maskowicz comes down with it and looks to push. Martindale makes a move on Boers, but she's going to be blocked there. Mora comes down with the ball, and Kings comes down the other way.
I like the Lincoln. When you see Mora at the rim right now, you got to go at it, because either she's going to stay out of those plays, or if she gets involved in it, if you can draw that fourth foul, it would really shape the way Kings look. So I think any chance you can go at that rim, you got to go.
Right back the other way, and Martindale's able to finish. Again, those deadly Lincoln guards in transition as they get right behind the defense. King swings it around. Soriano now from the top for three, a bit off, and Rainford's able to come down with it.
Lincoln's got a pace they like right now. Not that Kings doesn't like playing in speed, but Lincoln just seems to have it going their way right
and
now.
Right back again. Hall's this time fouled by Soriano, and she'll be at the line for two.
Yeah, they're playing fast, but it just seems like Lincoln's behind them right now going the offensive way, and the Kings is not getting those looks when they're on offense. So it's a little bit tilted towards Lincoln this time. I think Kings is going to make some sort of adjustment to change that.
Hall a little bit off on the first.
Here, Kings now is making a couple of changes here. He's putting something on offense, and they've made a change to what they're going to play on defense. So they're going to go for that same approach here, see if they can make an adjustment to where this flow is going. Getting a little momentum going back their direction.
Hall's able to hit the second, so now it's a 2-point Lincoln Prep lead. So again, we see Lincoln pick up full court, which is different from their usual zone pressure they have when Becker's on the floor. So a different look here for Kings from their past matchups. They're able to swing it around and find Boris open on the wing. She's unable to convert. The fight for the offensive rebound. It's going to go off of Moore and out of bounds. It's going to go to Lincoln ball.
Yeah, they probably got the shot they want there, though. It came out of that first trap, got it to Neal in the middle. She punched in there and found Boris. So it's probably a shot they really would like to have, just unfortunately came a little heavy.
Here's that 1-3-1 look we saw from Kings early last half. They get Rainford trapped in the corner. She finds Maskowicz, who finds a cutting Martindale, who's able to finish with the left.
Really uncharacteristic from Oriami there. So credit to Lincoln coming out of it, but Oriami kind of went into that trap and seemed very stagnant in the trap and never really got out of it either. So the pressure of what a trap would be was gone, and they're just having two defenders out of position since there's no added pressure.
Oriami cutting to the basket. It's unable to convert the floater. It's going to be tipped off of Maskowicz out of bounds, so it's going to remain with Kings. Again, that Moore Maskowicz matchup fighting for every board coming each way. A little bit of confusion on the Lincoln side as Boer's able to get, Rainford's able to recover to get out to Neal, and she blocks the shot from behind. Martindale's able to come up with the rebound, and off to the races comes Lincoln.
Lincoln does a nice job there. There's a 2-on-1 for Kings, and somehow Lincoln was able to slow that down and get a block shot out of it.
Oriami again able to come up with another steal for Kings, and here they are. See what they'll set up in the half court. Here's Mora working against Martindale. Maskwich comes from the other side. She was tied up on the first attempt, blocked by Rainford on the second, tipped away, and Martindale comes up with the steal.
Wow, they got the touch they want. They got it to Mora. In on the block, they drew a triple team. She had a bunch of crowd, but couldn't draw the foul, which looked like what she was really going from that scenario. Was unable to draw that foul, and then it being just a frustrating possession for her.
The pass by Martindale was a little bit too high for Hull, and it's going to be out of bounds. But again, Lincoln looking to push at every chance they get. So going into the timeout, we have a 4-point Lincoln lead, 35-31 over the number 1 seeded Kings Christian.
Yeah, a big change here in the third quarter. I mean, we've gotten this far through. We talked about my ability to make some shots, but unfortunately, Kings has put only 2 points up, and I think the 2 points has really allowed Lincoln to get some momentum going. And if you can't score, you can't get into the pressure they like to do, and it just drains on teams when you can't score. So Lincoln deserves a lot of credit for what they've come out here in the second half and done, which is pick up the pace a little bit and made a couple shots. Kings have to find something now. They're going to have to score. I mean, that's really going to be part of it.
Fair.
We talk about a lot of different things that you want to do to get things going at times, but right now they have to find something that's going to put the ball on the hoop. And I don't know that it can be more the way that Lincoln's game plan for them. They might have to find someone else that can make a shot for them.
And just like we said how Lincoln had trouble in that second quarter, so far this quarter we have a 12-2 Lincoln lead. So Kings 2 points so far this quarter. They're definitely going to have to find, if not more, someone else to get going to get themselves back in it to take the lead.
Yeah, this really could really use Oriami to get going a little bit for them too. So she's been consistent throughout the year. I mean, it's great if it could be some of the other pieces as well. They have people that can make shots, but that would be the one that I'd be looking to right now. We've relied on you all year. You've been a pretty consistent piece, and now we need a little bit of that consistency to kick in and make a couple shots here for us.
They get it into Neal. She brings it up against the pressure. Here's Soriano working against Pokranik at the top. Great deflection there by Pokranik, able to tie her up. Low shot clock now with more at the top, 4 remaining. She makes a move against Maskwich. Great defense by Lincoln. Another shot clock violation, the 4th of the game for Kings.
Well, we've talked so much about Mora all day, and she's done great, but Maskwich deserves a ton of credit for this one now. She actually got in a one-on-one situation. No help came at the top and just forced her into a shot clock violation essentially by taking 3 or 4 moves they've been going forward. So tremendous job by Maskwich in the one-on-one.
On the press, Neal's able to tip the pass from Rainford out of bounds, so it's going to remain with Lincoln. It's going to go. Here's Hall, kick out to the corner to Maskwich. She looks to drive. She kicks it over to Pokranik, who finds Rainford at the top for 3, just short. Martindale again able to come up with the offensive rebound. She's come up with tons of energy plays so far this game, and right away rewarded for the offensive rebound. Unable to convert the easy one, though. Here comes Kings.
2 offensive rebounds. Both actions drew Mora away from the rim. So the 3-point shot, she'd gone out to challenge. Then the drive, she stepped up to contest that. Both times she pulled away from the rim. Lincoln was able to come in behind and get that offensive rebound. So Kings is probably quite aware that's what's happening right now. They're going to find some coverages that allow Morris to end that they need her for the rebounding component of it.
And Soriano was, Alamara, was tied up there on the drive, and it's going to be jump ball retaining with Kings. They try and find Oriami on the block, but it's tipped away by Rainford. Lincoln comes up with it. Tough pass there by Pokranik, who's a little bit behind Maskwich, unable to control it before she kept going. So it's going to be a travel going over to Kings.
Yeah, those ones are always tough, and it will go down as a turnover on Maskwich ultimately. But the truth is, like as you said, anything that's thrown behind you is really tough to get it and get it to the floor in time while you're already at full speed.
They're able to get it to Neal, who's able to bring it right up court, gets to her left hand, and she's able to finish.
Yeah, nice job getting across the body of the defender, then going to her outside hand. Left hand was nice and soft there in the rim, too, so good finish.
Lincoln having a little bit of trouble with the pressure, but Pokranik's going to be tied up. It's going to be called for the foul.
Yeah, a nice job there by Pockenek because she gets in trouble there. Goes on the sideline, get a trap coming, but she's able to pick it up, and she's on balance. So she didn't pick it up running into the defense. It forced the defense to come to her and reach in to take that foul. So real nice job by just being on balance when she picked that basketball up.
They find Martindale at the high post. She kicks it over to Pockernick. Her three, and it's good. 2 threes this half for Pockernick.
Yeah, big hit there. Lincoln needed that one. It's nice to have the complimentary scoring that everyone's getting right now. We talked about the desperate need for Kings, but Lincoln's getting a lot of people contributing, which is really key.
Good switch there as Hall goes off to cut off the shot attempt for Boers. They swing it over to Oriami. Balabiakubo on her now. They get it to Mora. Defended there by Pockernick. She finds Boers. Just rattles out. The fight for the rebound comes down to Lincoln. So even with the size mismatch on Mora, Lincoln's double team getting there before the ball definitely causing Mora some issues.
Yeah, and that's really one King, like, it's a shot that Kings are going to have to make, not 100%. So it's fine. They got a good shot out of it. But if they're going to beat the double team, someone's have to make shots in the back end.
A little bit of confusion there from Martindale and Balabiakubo, and a turnover comes to Kings. Oriami looking to drive. Her shot attempt's too strong. Lincoln comes down with it, looking to push with Martindale. She gets into the key. Lost a little bit of control with the ball, though, and it comes down. Mora comes up with it. Woo, little fancy dribbling at half for her.
I liked what Martindale did there, getting to the middle of the floor. Unfortunately, she probably got herself a little too deep. She didn't really have any angles to get out of that situation. Got into a second defender with nowhere to get out of it.
Great job there by Neal working on Balabiakubo to get in the lane, just unable to finish. Balabiakubo comes down with it, and she pushes. Pass was a little bit behind Hall, but she comes up with it. Couldn't hit the floater, but again, a Lincoln O-board. Martindale's three is no good.
Yeah, Oriami is probably pretty relieved by that miss. I think she did a nice job breaking up that pass, but she probably could have had a chance to catch it or get a second hand on it. Instead, she just knocked it down. So she was probably feeling pretty good when the shot didn't fall on that broken play.
A little bit of confusion there on the back end from Lincoln as Boers is able to get wide open on the block, and she finishes for 2. Hall finds Balabiakubo. 3 from the left wing is no good. Mora comes down with it. Both teams looking a little sluggish here to end the third. We'll see if anyone can tighten it up and end on a high note as Kings works it around the top. Here's Mora, catches on the block. Martindale comes with the double. No help there, though, and Oriami's left wide open, and she finishes for 2.
Yeah, for now, at this stage, while it's just one, I would still take it as all positive right now how the double team has worked out for Lincoln, but this has got to be the thing Kings has got to build on now. They had the Boers 3 that didn't fall and this wide open layup. If they continue to get good shots out of it, it's going to force a different action from Lincoln.
Pockernick couldn't get that one to go, and it rattles out. Mora comes down with it. So here's Kings' final possession, 5 seconds in the quarter. They're looking to take the lead going into the last break. The long 3 by Alamara is no good. So at the end of 3, we have Lincoln Prep Huskies 38, Kings Christian 37.
Yeah, really slow start there for Kings in that quarter, and I mean a really great start defensively for Lincoln, whatever way you want to flip that equation. But as we touched on there at the end, I think the way the quarter finished, which was the last 2 double teams that came to Mora, both still there before she catches, which has been incredible. They've gotten 2 great shot opportunities out of it. So what Lincoln's going to probably do, my guess at this stage, and it's just a guess, is that you'll probably stay in that for a couple more minutes to see what transpires. Like, will they continue to get great shots? But what you'll start to talk about probably as coaches, not yet as a team, is what's the next thing we'll go to that doesn't happen. And I would also anticipate that somewhere here in this quarter, they will mix it up for a couple of minutes if they like this double team, so they can go back to it to finish. But it doesn't feel like you can do it for 10 more minutes now and be successful. So you pick either, do we ride out as long as we can, or do you do something, come back to it to finish? So that's probably the equation that, or the question that Lincoln's looking at a bit. Kings have got to make sure they convert on the double team for the first couple of minutes to force their hand with whatever Lincoln's going to do.
And one thing we mentioned in the first matchup between these two is the fourth quarter of the last game. It definitely saw the constant pressure and transition opportunities that both teams wanted to go fast all game provided to take a toll on Kings late with their shorter bench compared to Lincoln. So we'll see if that transpires here again in the second matchup with the two teams.
Great point.
So here's Balabiakubo to enter for Lincoln. McMillan, good defense there by Alamar, and Soriano are able to tie her up on the high ball screen. Bob Yakubo gets in the lane, gets to her spin move. She's going to be called for the travel, though, before the shot attempt. It's going to go King's way.
Yeah, they did a great job out there. The switching action, cutting plays off, forcing them back towards the switch again, too. So really well done there by King's first possession out.
Soriano breaks the press, finds Boers, cutting. She's blocked away there by Maskowicz, but it's going to be off Lincoln. It's going to remain with Kings.
Yeah, Maskowicz got a hand on the way up, and then I think you get a second defender coming. I apologize, I missed who it was coming in late, but the one was tipping the takeoff.
Alamara's three is no good. Skoskin comes down with it for Lincoln. It's Maskowicz on the right wing looking to drive. Kicks it out to Tarrant. 10 on the shot clock now for Lincoln. Let's see what they can do. They find Tar in the left corner. Again, foot on the line. Out of bounds, King's ball.
Yeah, this was a bigger problem, I felt like, in the first quarter, but it still kind of seems to be around in this game. People just stepping out of bounds, and they have opportunities to catch and go.
Soriano kicks it over to Brown. She gets in the lane, and her floater's good. Yeah, First 2 points of the game for Rachel Brown.
Brown got to that mid-range spot. It looked like she was slowing down a bit. They're almost forcing the issue. Like, if you're going to step up, I'll be able to go by you, but it puts me into control and on balance when I take the shot. McMillan's
pass for Balabiakuba was tipped away. They're able to retain it, though, and get it right over to Maskowicz, and she's able to finish the foul line jumper.
Yeah, go like that. You're Lincoln gets a broken play. You get to be able to find Maskowicz open at the foul line. It's a pretty good shot.
Here's Brown working on the left wing and Skoskin. Brown's floater this time is no good, but able to follow her offensive rebound. Ball comes down to Maskowicz, though. Lincoln looks to push. McMillan over to Balabiakubo, and she's able to hit from the left side.
Yeah, they're just going in packs there. Lincoln got a nice job getting off to the races. Again, they had 4 bodies on the front court running with that. Maskowicz set them free with the first pass being forward.
Great defense there by Balabiakubo and Alamara at the top, but they're able to find Boers for 3, just off. It's going to bounce out of bounds. It's going to go Lincoln way.
That was a good shot. I mean, they haven't been able to get Boers really going yet. She's had a couple good clean looks for them. She's probably also getting close to due here. If they can continue to get her a couple shots like that, I mean, you assume one of them's going to fall soon.
So we have Neal checking right back in for Alamara. Skosin open for 3, just off. Maskowicz, though, fighting for the board. She's able to come down within 5, and Balabiakubo on the outside. Here's Maskowicz, puts up her own 3 this time, just short. But again fighting with the boards, and McMillan's able to tie up Brown. Jump ball going King's way.
Yeah, not a bad 3 for Maskowicz this time. So we talked a bit earlier, we want to see her go into the rim when she had a chance. But this time, you know, you get an offensive rebound. It gets pulled out there. She's got a real clean look. She's on balance. You take that one. I think it's a pretty good shot for her. What you got to ensure is it's not something she's going to start to settle for here down the stretch. So as this continues to go on, you need her going towards the rim.
Oriami driving against Maskowicz. She's going to be called for the hand check foul, though, before the shot. Oriami will be at the line for 2.
Yeah, the little subtlety for offense in that one is she kind of broke the 3-point line. Oriami got to that contact. She wouldn't initiate that with Maskowicz. So then what happens is the defensive player, you've got to push back or have that lean going back towards the offensive player. And that's where the foul comes. So offense initiates that. You're caught a little off guard, giving up space. You start to put your hands on her to contain her, and then once that's happened, they call you for the foul or the push.
Oriami unable to convert either free throw. Maskowicz comes down with the last rebound. She's pushing for Lincoln. They swing it around. Here's McMillan for 3. Just short. Brown comes down with it for Kings.
When a big make, I think 2 free throws missed always just feel worse than it probably actually is, but it always feels awful. They came out and made a 3 out of it. It would have been a tough one for Kings.
Unable to hit the shot by Neal, but Moore is right there on the doorstep, able to get the putback.
Nice job catching that high, keeping it high there for Moore. Something you try and work with the forwards on often, or anybody for that matter, getting an offensive rebound. But
they're swinging it around. Here's McMillan, the left wing 3, just off. Balabiakubo's able to get the rebound. Here's Tarn, the right wing three, rattles out, but Lincoln continues to crash. 3 there, right around the ball, just unable to handle it.
Yeah, Lincoln's had great chances there. Those are great shots. They would love to have those, but they're just going to put one of those down. I don't think they'd go 0 for 3 in that exchange very often.
So at 6:42, we have Maskowitz checking out, Granum checking in. We'll see how Coach Bailey manages Maskowicz's minutes in the last 6 minutes here of the game. There's more on the block. The double comes again. Here's Neal up top for 3. Just off. Balabukuba comes down with the board.
Good ball movement and a good shot. Again, just got to convert one of these.
Good pass there by Balabukuba, able to find McMillan right on the doorstep. She finishes for 2 in transition.
Yeah, one of our keys there still holding true, Max. It's really going to come down. It's going to come down to a matter of like who's going to make some of these shots. Both teams getting opportunities and nobody making it.
Kings works it around. Here's Oriami driving, unable to finish. Mora again with a good offensive board put back.
Mora getting going a little bit on the glass, but you need Oriami right now. I think they need that, Kings. They need her to convert that shot and get that thing in.
Lincoln swings it around. They find McMillan. She gets her right-handed floater and able to finish. Back-to-back buckets for McMillan here.
Could be off on this, but I'd say your comment on Maskowicz is probably pretty true managing the minutes, and I think Oriami's probably looking in the same boat right now for Kings. She's probably the one with what they ask her to do defensively, the job she does trapping, pressing people, the role she plays in the bottom of the 1-3-1 when they're in that. She looks like she's going to need a bit of a breather. She hasn't had the same jump under step to go get the rebounds or the defensive pressure right now. So we'll watch if they can get her an opportunity here in the last 5.5, or if she's just going to try and grind through it.
They get it into Oriami, looking to attack against Rainford, but it's poked away. Lincoln comes up with it. They're pushing. McMillan gets into the middle of the lane, finds Rainford. McMillan finds a cutting Martindale, and she's able to finish.
Millen's added a little energy here to Lincoln's side. She's done a real nice job with the bench. She had a couple shots that didn't fall that were good ones, and now she's got a couple pieces in transition.
Martindale's going to be called for the foul there guarding Boers. It's her first, team second of the quarter. It's going to be King's ball on the sideline.
I think that's a pretty good foul, actually, Martindale. Like, you're in the thought you took a bit of a chance where she thought she was going to get a deflection, and Boers had fooled her and was going to get around her. But as the baseline defender in the trap, she's going to get around you baseline side. You almost had to take that foul and don't let it be a 4-on-3.
Here's Oriami. The 3 is no good. Martindale comes up with a rebound, brings it down the other way.
Maybe they can get Oriami a break through a timeout as well, too. They might need something here for her just to keep. I think they need her down the stretch. I think she's just too important, both ends of the floor. And I think she's showing all the signs of needing a breather. So we'll see what Kings does here, try and help that if they can.
Fighting for the O board. Graham's going to be called for the foul there on Mora. It's her first, but team's third of the quarter now. They find Oriami cutting. She gets tied up on the block, able to kick it around. Here's Mora. The pump fake. Travel, though, before she could put the ball down. It's going to be Lincoln ball.
I love the move, though. You get Mora out there who's made a name and a living in the OSBA and her interior scoring, but catching on the perimeter, gets a little shot fake and was going hard to the rim. It looked great. Unfortunately, travel, but love to see it.
Pokranic. Great pass over to Rainford. Back up to McMillan, but unable to handle that. It's going to go King's ball. So with 4 minutes here remaining in the game, we have a 5-point Lincoln lead, 48-43 over the first place King's Christian. Low looking to get more on the block. They swing it over to Boers, though. She's open, and she hits it.
Yeah, we knew Boers was due. I mean, she is such a great shooter. I think she might be one of the top here in the OSBA number-wise. I mean, she certainly is on paper, but we knew she was due to make one. That was a great hit for them. Now what they're going to do is, I mean, you can hear the crowd in the background, or maybe you can't, but they're over the score. But what they got to do now with Kings is talk about that. What they're going to do. This might be enough for Oriami, but that's probably the thing they got to be focusing on this piece. Like, what what percentage is she at health-wise, and what can you do? Like, can we go to those defenses where we're setting her free, trying to make some of these things happen where she's been so critical for us, or does she have the juice to make that happen? The alternative is, do we go back to something maybe uses a little less energy on her end, and can we just grind out the points on the offense and the floor?
Yeah.
And I guess on the other side, there's two of your Lincoln who's been so great here in the second half and been dictating a lot of the flow. They've actually, in the last 2 minutes, it's felt like they've really controlled what's going on and had a couple things just rattle out and they haven't gone down. So there's not a lot they have to change, but I think they want to ensure that they're getting those same quality shots. And the keys for that is what they've been doing, that is getting themselves out in transition. So they got to keep that piece going. And it goes in the quarter. I assume you're going to keep Maskowicz involved here so you'll a strong last 4 minutes.
So as we mentioned earlier, Lincoln able to rotate those bodies more if they have Maskowicz checking back in, fresh legs here for the final four. We'll see how that's able to impact the game as they swing it over. Find her at the top. 10 on the shot clock. Pockernick swings it over to Rain for the left wing three. Just short. Maskowicz fighting for the board though. And Maskowicz is going to be called for the foul on the board, so it's going to be the fourth team foul with 3:30.
Yeah, you got to appreciate that, though. I think that's one of those fouls that you've got one of your best players in there battling hard for a rebound. They're going to call for a rebounding foul. I think you live with that a little bit. On the flip, though, we talked about Kings and Orion, what they're doing with her, and they just set it free. They feel like she can do it and finish this thing off, so credit to them knowing what's going on, and maybe credit to her for answering that call for them. 4 minutes left to go. They came back out in the 1-3-1, so she's going to be very active on the back end trying to get some traps.
They swing it around. Here's Rainford. Pockernick. Martindale in the corner. Just short, but again the fight for the offensive rebound, and Lincoln's able to come up with it. So the three's not falling right now in the fourth for Lincoln as they move it inside. Martindale's able to hit the foul line jumper.
Maskowicz does a nice job there. She goes down and plucks off the bottom of the zone. Oriami 2 times. She got her 1 time, keep her from going to go to seal. Second time the cutter came in the high post, she stepped in front of her and sealed her again to create that pocket of space. So some movement off the ball by Maskowicz creating a big advantage.
It's going to be an on-the-floor foul there on Granham trying to defend Mora. Mora will be at the line for 2 in the bonus situation here.
Accumulation effect of this obviously is a downside. You don't want to send him to the line for 2 free shots. Outside of that, wouldn't have minded Granham coming in who'd have for the fouls to spare to really make him more work. So appreciate that aspect of it, but now knowing it's bonus and the part that we're at, we're going to want to stay with these scenarios. Force them to make every shot when they're down.
Mora able to hit the first, unable to convert the second though as Maskowicz comes down with it. Maskowicz looking to push. Good job there by Oriami to get back in front of her. Oriami's going to be called for the reach-in foul there on Maskowicz, looking to drive from the top, so it's going to remain Lincoln ball.
Yeah, another good thing here, too, though. I like that Lincoln's going at Oriami. I think she's the one that's going to have some fatigue, and she's doing a lot of work on the defensive end. So you get her in the matchup with Maskowicz, you got to go right at that, which they did. So credit for that.
They get it in. Here's Pockernick, the right wing three, just too strong. She's able to track down her own board, though. Again, those Lincoln guards able to just find the ball all over the court, and they get Martindale a jumper at the free throw line, and she's going to be fouled from behind. She'll be at the line for 2.
Yeah, the offensive rebounding is going to be key down the stretch now. Lincoln's done a real nice job of continues to go. That's been something they've done a nice job of all year. We've talked about their pressuring in those easy points. They're probably their second best asset as they get points on the offensive rebounding, and they're continuing this down the stretch. So Kings are going to have some help and support for their forwards. I think all the guards are going to be contributing to this piece of it. I mean, they have to control the defensive glass right now. It's going to be one shot and get themselves out of there. They're going to get back in this piece.
Martindale's able to hit both from the line. Lincoln there in pressure, but Kings is able to beat it, and they get it to Mora, who's able to finish over Maskowicz. Great play there by Kings. It's a 3-point lead. Lincoln here with 2 minutes in the game.
Nice finish by Mora, but real nice credit to Maskowicz. She made it about as tough as you can in the 2-on-1 against you.
Maskwich's pull-up is a bit too strong. Mora comes down with it. Here's Kings with a chance to cut it to 1 or even tie the game on this possession. They find Mora on the block, guarded by Maskwich. Here's Neal looking to drive against Rainford, gets to her left, unable to convert. Maskwich comes down with it, and they push to Hall. Just a bit out of reach as she was unable to come down with it. It's going to go back to Kings. Sorry, a minute 36 remaining.
That's tough to do. I mean, Hall is quick. She's really fast. So for you to out-throw her towards that baseline is tough to do. She made up a lot of ground trying to keep that in bounds, but unfortunately it's a bit too far. So we go in, Max, now to the final minute 40, and we're going to see now what King still has in store. They're the really interesting one, this piece of the equation. I think Lincoln's got a pretty set piece of what's been going on for them. They'll stay in the defense they've been playing. They have a chance to keep Maskwich involved and try and protect this three-point lead, force Kings to do something. On the other side, I think Kings is showing some, as you mentioned, some potential fatigue in the back end of those that are making the disruption or making their defense go. So can you continue to play it for the last 90 seconds, or is there some other trick or change they're going to show here?
Yep, and as you did say, this timeout will give Oriami and the other guards on Kings that haven't had much of a rest this second half a chance to catch their breath, get some time to relax, get their legs back under them. So I would envision Kings comes back out in that trapping defense, and we'll see how Lincoln's able to handle it. Oriami to inbound for Kings. They're able to find Boers on the corner. They get it down to Mora. The double comes. She kicks out to Neal. Great recovery there by Lincoln. They find Soriano. Oriami shots blocked there by Maskwich, but Kings retains it. They get Boers at the top, just short. They're able to come down with the rebound, though. Soriano this time. So Kings giving Lincoln a bit of their own medicine. And they swing. Find Oriami this time on the wing for 3. It rattles out. Mora fighting for the glass, though. She's going to be fouled. She'll go to the line for 2.
Wow. What a possession, Max. Just wow, the scene here. But you get a chance to get Boers a clean look. That wouldn't go. Mora fights hard to get the rebound, gives Oriami a chance. That won't go, and she gets another offensive rebound. So as you said, almost pulling the page from Lincoln. Offensive opportunities there. So Mora, a ton of credit for her job on the glass, keeping this thing going.
Mora rattles out on the first. 3-point game down. 3-point game, 1 minute, 6 seconds left. Mora at the line for 1. Able to convert the second. 2-point lead now, Lincoln. Let's see how Lincoln attacks the Kings defense now. They put Maskwich in the high screen with Pokranik. Get over to Maskwich on the wing. She looks to attack. She finds a cutting Martindale, and she's able to finish again.
Great pass there by Maskwich. That takes a nice presence of mind. So a defender falls down. Moore does her job and goes down and challenges it. Maskwich has the patience to let the defender step to her before hitting the cutter in the middle in the key.
So the confusion here at the table is just in the last 2 minutes we were to stop the clock on a made basket. So just a little difference in rules here with the FIBA. So we'll get that sorted out. It will be Kings ball to inbound. Approximately 50 seconds left in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, the one like benefit to these pieces, Max, you get a stoppage like this from the referee or score tables there. It actually gives Kings a chance to get together, get themselves a little organized. So it might save the timeout that they were potentially going to take. Now they can be on the same page what they're going to do here. You've got time to go 2 for 1. And I think one of the biggest benefits is when you can talk that over as opposed to just trying to do it live. And Kings has been rewarded that through the score table error.
So it's going to be timeout, Kings, so they can talk over that situation. We're going to give a shout-out to Lindsay Walsh, Technical Director for Ontario Basketball, joining us here at the announcing booth for the final 50 seconds of the game.
And Kings has elected against what I felt now, and they're going to get something set here, which will really help the 2 for 1 scenario now. Now it's going to move the ball forward and ensure you get that shot. You probably get about 12 to 15 seconds to work, which is plenty of time in the front court to find that shot that you want. And now you can talk about is what you're going to do on the score and what defense you're in if there's not. And you're going to assume at this stage if they were unable to convert on offense, they're probably going to have to foul. But if you are to score, what's the defense you're going to come out in? Lincoln, on the other hand, you can talk about 2 facets. One, it's how are you going to defend this first action? Where do you want to go? Are you going to do a trap or a double team to push it somewhere else? And then secondly, like, what are you going to do if they do score? Are you going to inbound it quickly and get the thing in to force the issue, or are you going to take the time out to progress the ball? Both are fine options, but now you have a chance to everybody on the same page.
Here we have Oriami is going to inbound the ball for Kings. Down 4, 49.5 seconds remaining in this 1 versus 2 matchup.
Moore is obviously a focal point in this, but I think Neal's the other interesting one.
Here's Boers. They get Boers in the corner. Great defense there by Hall. Here's Oriami looking to work against Granum. Good defense there. She's able to cut her off. Soriano's going to be fouled, though, on the attempt. Soriano will be at the line for 2.
You know, credit again to Lincoln. One thing that we probably haven't talked about enough is they did send the double again to Mora, so the entry came in to Boers in the corner. They had Mora on the block, same side. The double came, and then Lincoln was able to get out of that again. Kings couldn't throw it inside. They reversed the ball around. By the time it came out, they were recovered. So they deserve a lot of credit for their job of getting into that double, which we have given them credit for, but also getting back out of that and making it tough.
Soriano's able to hit the first 3-point lead now for Lincoln. Rattles out on the second. Maskwich is able to come down with it, though. A little clock malfunction on the miss, so we're just going to get that sorted out. It will be Lincoln ball in the front court.
Wow, it's been an interesting scenario. So they've taken some game time off, but not the shot clock time. They're going to take some more time off. So 10 seconds has been taken off the game clock, but only 5 seconds off the shot clock in this scenario now. I don't know that Kings is aware of that piece, but if they are, I would be quite upset.
Stop that right now.
I would assume the 2 should match in this scenario.
I think they're working it out.
They got it.
Yeah,
Great.
Just give them time. Martindale inbound for Lincoln. They find Maskwich at the top. She's getting fouled. It's going to be Mora with the foul on Maskwich. Nope, it's going to be Neal.
And now with still another foul to give, we'll see if Kings is going to try and take a chance here to steal first, or if it's straight into the foul as well.
Number 1. So they're going to call an off-ball unsportsmanlike foul on Kings, so Lincoln will be at the line, and then they'll retain possession after the free throw.
But the unsportsmanlike by rule has to be called before the ball is inbounded in the last 2 minutes. So that was, if there was a holding call, that has to be the call. It has to be unsportsmanlike because the ball is still dead and out of bounds.
Pockernick is able to hit the free throw. Oh, that was just a warning on the bench for Kings. So Pockernick will be at the line for the second free throw now. Able to hit the second. We now have a 5-point Lincoln lead, 56-51. 31 seconds remaining, and we're going to have a timeout, Lincoln.
So now Lincoln's job is just to ensure you give yourselves a couple options to get the ball in safely, knowing that King's probably going to have to foul. The other piece you have to be aware of, though, is they're probably running some sort of action to try and get a steal now. Kings is going to want to play for the steal. You almost have to in this being down 2 possessions before the foul. So Lincoln's going to probably run some sort of action first. It's going to occupy what will be assumably the second defender. Then you need a second cutter to then come in to space where hopefully you can get the pass completed. Once it's in, it's just a matter of protecting the ball, getting to space, and drawing that foul.
So Kings foul. 31 seconds. Down 5. Next foul will put them into bonus. So let's see what the Kings coach draws up to try and get them cut into the 5-point lead of Lincoln. They get it into Pockernick. Soriano comes to foul. Nope, not able to get her though. Lincoln works it around. McMillan's going to be fouled by Mora there, and McMillan will be at the line for 2.
Yeah, nice try by Lincoln. You get that first pass into space, and that's exactly what you want to do. You want to actually eat as much of that clock as you can. So heads-up play gets to McMillan. She actually attacks the space, gets away from the defense, and then moves it once the defense collapses to someone else's space. So
Pockernick, yeah, great job
Sorry.
by Pockernick hitting McMillan in the space, yeah.
Sorry, thank you.
McMillan able to hit the first.
Big shot now if you can put it from 2 possessions to 3.
And McMillan's able to convert. Hits both from the line. And after the second free throw, we have Hall checking right back in for McMillan. So 23 seconds now. We have Lincoln up 7. Oriami to inbound for Kings.
Yeah, 3 possessions now. If you're Kings, you just got to start to score. I mean, you don't have to worry about shooting a 3 yet because there's so many pieces that have to happen. You just take the best chance you can get here on offense and try and extend the game.
They get it to Boers in the corner. Tough defense, though, by Rainford. Able to get it off from over top. Maskwich comes down with the rebound. She's going to be fouled there by Oriami.
And the reality is once you get down 7 with under 25 seconds to go, you're going to have to take tough shots. It's going to be a piece of the equation. So probably as good as look they're going to get there for Boers, but it is a tough shot, well defended. Now we're into the time of playing out the clock.
Maskwich able to hit the first. And hit the second. Here's Soriano bringing the ball up for Kings. Getting right to the key, kicks it over to Boers, swings it to Oriami. They find Neal in the key. Unable to get a shot off. So there we have it, folks. Lincoln Prep takes this one 60-51 over the number 1 seeded Kings Christian Collegiate. Stay tuned for our next one as we have Durham Elite facing Bill Crothers. And that game will start at 3 p.m. on OSBA TV. Tune in.